Well, Razorback fans, once again, it's another day where nothing too major goes on when it comes to the transfer portal of Razorback basketball. But you got to remember something. John Calipari is still your coach. So let's talk about it on today's Locked On Razorbacks podcast.
You are Locked On Razorbacks, your daily podcast on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. I am your host, John Neighbors. I am also the host of Inside Arkansas Live, which you can catch every weekday starting at noon on Inside Arkansas and InsideArkansas.com. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday as we continue on, not really knowing what the world's going on with the transfer portal and basketball, but we will get into a little football action and also a remembering for football. It may be a bad memory, but still we got to talk about it because I always want to make sure we remember. But still, it's crazy right now where transfer portal stuff is happening and doesn't really have anything moved for Arkansas, which, by the way, folks, I got to keep saying this, and I know that a lot of people hate it, but when I tweet out it's going to be today's going to be an insane day. I've been doing that since like 2018 with coaching searches and with crazy things that all the fans are anticipating. It's just a goof, and some of you hate it, and I get it, but it's like, don't take it too seriously. It's just all for fun, but still, we're waiting. We're playing the waiting game, and still playing the waiting game. I think that there have been some feelings about which particular players may stay or may go, which players may be interested in coming to Arkansas, whether it's out of the high school ranks or transfer portal or whatever it may be. I know the latest, or at least one of the latest things, is about Nick Pringle and how I think it was On 3 and what they were doing. What they do a great job of covering everything, but they just basically put it out there that if they're going to have any sort of leaning towards a certain direction, they felt pretty good that Nick Pringle will be coming to Arkansas. But there's no guarantees. I mean, for crying out loud, we've seen other players have crystal balls that get measured and saying what they're going to end up doing and looked at, and a lot of times it doesn't end up being that case. It just goes a different direction. You just move on from it. So it's all over the place, and it's just very chaotic. And I was even kind of having some fun with somebody yesterday on social media, and they were getting really mad that I say today's going to be an insane day. And so I kind of took that as a way of like, listen, the reason I'm able to be joking about stuff like this and to have a little bit of fun with it and a little bit of goof with it is not because I don't take it seriously, because let's be honest, it is a very serious thing to be able to have a great roster for the Razorback basketball team and John Calipari to put together a great roster and all those things. Yes, it's very important and it's crucial to make sure that you get it right. But the main reason that I don't get too all up in arms about it is because you have John Calipari as your head coach, and you have John Tyson in the NIL that's there. And forget anything else, everything else. I feel confident that no matter what's going to happen, you're going to have a great roster. Now, we'll talk about the details of it when it actually happens and when the roster is put together. And when that is put together, you can jump to another way of saying, hey, let's talk about if this is going to be good or not, or is it better, or what are they missing? We can do all of that once the time comes. But as long as John Calipari is your head coach, and as long as you have the most important thing when it comes to recruiting and portal and all of that, which is NIL, as long as you have all those things, you're going to feel great about it. And I think the lack of communication or any sort of things being said, statements being made from Razorback basketball over the past week and a half, 2 weeks, has been, also adding to the mix. Well, I'll tell you what, we got lucky enough, because this actually worked out perfectly with what we're going to talk about. Got lucky enough to hear from John Calipari, the head coach of Arkansas, who went out on Twitter and on social media and put out a video statement. So let's hear a little bit from Coach Cal and what he had to say to the Razorback faithful.
This is to all Arkansas fans, supporters, people that follow this program and our athletic department. I just want to thank you. You went through the fires with us. We were 0-5, and you still believed in us. You stood behind these kids. You let them know the big games we had that we needed our fans there with us. You were always there with us. I'm here telling you that pushed us to the level we went to. Yeah, we wanted to go farther. Believe me, I'm greedy. I wanted to keep going. But when I look back and I think of the support, I think about the kids' resiliency, but I think about the support that pushed us. I'm just grateful. Really happy with the staff and what we've been able to lay out and how we've been able to do it. You'll want retention, we got it. You'll want young people, because I'm not changing who I am. I'm going to continue to recruit the best freshmen in the country. They're going to have to come and perform, and they're going to have to take it maybe from some older guys. But I'm still going to prepare young people like we have. And transfers coming in, they got to be great teammates. They got to add to what we're doing. They've got to want to get better. They got to want to be that next level. Help me as I tell them you're helping us. Let's make this about each other. Thank you again. Go Hawks.
I love that. I love that so much. I think it's just more of like him talking, like, and just getting to hear from him and to approach the fans in that way. Because so many people, and when I say so many people, it's like, Kentucky fans and whatever, talk about how, oh, classic Cal, same old, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, okay, well, they heard it for over a decade. Arkansas fans, we haven't heard it. You haven't heard it spoke to you in that regard. And I appreciate Cal. I really do, for doing something like that, because I feel like that's the type of stuff, though, even if it's just a short little 1.5, 2-minute video, whatever it was, it just goes a long way with Razorback fans. And for them to feel that, hey, there's still some care about them. It's not just about the money and the success and the, stuck in your own little bubble. Like, the fans matter. And I think that was a really great message for Cal. But a few things really stood out into that. One of them being the comment he made about retention, which I think is important, because it's like, hey, you want retention, we got it, is what he was saying. And we don't know which players are for sure going to be back next year yet. So that's what made it so fascinating, is he puts that video out feeling confident in the retention. Does that mean retention in 1 player? Does that mean retention in 4 players? Don't know. But it definitely gives me a little bit more of a hope and a good feeling that you're going to have a Brazil back. You're going to have a Billy Richmond, Carter Knox, a DJ Wagner. You're going to have retention, which is important. And I think everybody understands the importance of that, and especially John Calipari. So for him to start out there, hey, you want retention, you got it, shows that there is going to be retention. He's confident in it. Maybe there hasn't been an official announcement, but it's there. And he goes into the approach of, I'm not going to change who I am. I want to help out high school kids and the freshmen, which also tells me is not only do they have these great players that are coming in right now, but it kind of reiterates the fact, and call it confirmation, you can call it affirmation, whatever it is, but it shows that this whole Nate Ament guy and the true freshman that he is, and the highest rated non-committed high school player and a 5-star player, they are going after him hot and heavy. We kind of felt that way, and we've known that, but to hear him say it just, you got to put it all together. Like, I'm not going to change the way I am. I want to help out these high school kids. I want to get these freshmen in here. It's one and done players. Okay. Well, he's not just putting it out there for no reason. He's putting it out there because he's like, this is what I'm trying to do. The portal's important. The retention's important. But I ain't changing this part of it, which I've been really good at. I've been the best at ever since I've been a coach. And I ain't changing. So we're still going to do that, which I'm fine with. Because he mentions first the retention, which is the most important thing, which I agree with. It is the most important thing. Then he mentions the high school talent, which you could make an argument one way or the other, but knowing Cal and how he approaches it and the type of players that he wants, that's the second most important thing, because you get the high-level NBA caliber talent guys that can really change your program and really be those types of things that put you over the edge. And then he goes into the transfer portal. Now, we know the portal is important, but it's the approach to the transfer portal that he has, and that he even mentions specifically about the type of player that they want. Like he says something to the extent of, "Now, I want these portal players to understand you're coming in to help us. No, you're not coming in for anything else. You're coming in to help us win, and to help us win right now." And so, like, just all those things put together, it just really got me excited. Like, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it made me feel really good. I feel good about the future. I feel good about everything else. So, yeah, how do you not get excited about it? John Calipari, man, still the head coach. I just want to play that first part again real quick, and then we'll get to some football talk on the other side of the break. So stay with us here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast.
This is to all Arkansas fans, supporters, people that follow this program and our athletic department. I just want to thank you. You went through the fires with us. We were 0-5, and you still believed in us. You stood behind these kids. You let them know the big games we had that we needed our fans there with us. You were always there with us. I'm here telling you that pushed us to the level we went to.
All right, Razorback fans, I'm here to tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. We know the NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving a whole new way for new customers to have an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel, you can place your first $5 bet, and you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, because it's always about easiness and convenience and everything like that. Whether it's picking the favorite team or diving into the player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways that you can bet on your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into the same game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Okay, so moving on into the next segment of the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. You know, we're going to talk a little football. I know you're all excited about that. Talk a little football and everything, too. Come on now. You know you are. I'm going to be honest. Like, the amount of people that yesterday, when I talked about the Bobby Petrino thing and Madden, the backup quarterback and all of that, was pretty awesome, because a lot of you actually had some positive feedback for that. So it wasn't like you were just all upset and mad that we were talking football or anything like that. You actually enjoyed it, which made me happy, because I wasn't sure about it, but it made me happy. But either way, you know, Vegas, FanDuel, whoever you want to look at, always come out with these lines, these over-unders that they do for futures. A lot of times just scores to games and things like that. But in a lot of cases, too, they do the whole season win totals. And they do it in the SEC, as well as other conferences. But I saw the SEC one, and Arkansas was at 5.5 wins. Over under 5.5 wins. Now, when I saw that, my first reaction was, okay. Because they were at 5.5 last year. I felt like they were maybe 6.5 the year before. The year before that, they were like 5.5. I just feel like Arkansas is permanently at 5.5. And when I started really thinking about it, as like connecting it to like, oh, that's just what it is, all common. I'm going to be honest, folks. I just don't see how anybody can look at this upcoming season for the Razorbacks and knowing the schedule that they have and everything and say, you know what? I could see 5.5. I could see 6 wins. Like, and I'm not trying to be funny or just crap on them for the sake of crapping on them. I'm just talking about reality and logic. Like, how do you truly reach out there and say, hey, I feel like this could be the thing of talking about a bowl season with having Notre Dame on the schedule, going to Memphis in the non-conference games, and then you have to go to Ole Miss, to LSU, to Tennessee, to Texas, while also playing Texas A&M at home and having Auburn, Mississippi State, and Missouri all at home. Like, I'm sorry, you have to, in that particular case, you got to win all 4 of your non-conference and 2 SEC games, or you got to win 3 of your non-conference and 3 SEC games. Like, you just got to balance it out. Well, considering that you're having to play Notre Dame, who was in the national championship game last year and has a really good coach with a lot of talent coming back and will probably be a top 5 team more than likely by the time you play them next season, it's probably not going to be a win. I'd love for it to be a win. I really hope it is. But again, we can end it logically. I just don't see it happening. Just don't see that being a win. So that means you're going to have to win your 3 other non-conference games, which aren't going to be easy, mind you. You have Arkansas State down at Little Rock. You got at Memphis. And then you have Alabama A&M. We should win that game. But the point is that you're still going to have your work cut out for you, but it's more logical that you win 3 non-conference games. So you do that 3-1, Boston, Notre Dame. I think that's fair. I think that's maybe even looking on the optimistic side. So that means you're going to have to win 3 more SEC games. At minimum, 3 more. Well, I don't see a single road game you play next year that I'm going to pick you to be and to win. You're not going to beat LSU. You're not going to beat Ole Miss. You're not going to beat Tennessee. You're not going to beat Texas. Just plain and simple. Like, I would love to be wrong. I hope I am. But given the circumstances, those are 4 of the top, 5, 6 teams in the SEC next year? And you get them on the road? I just don't see you winning any of those games. I mean, last year you had them at home and you only won 1 of those. 2 of them, you got your doors blown off of you. So I feel like you're going to go over in that. So then it comes to your home games. You got to win 3 of your 4 home games then. Well, I will say it's a little bit easier than your road schedule, but you got Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, and Missouri. Now, I think you can beat Mississippi State. I think you could potentially even beat Auburn. I think they're going to be a better team than what you faced last year. But I think you can potentially beat Auburn. You know, Missouri, I always feel like you have a puncher's chance of winning it, but you never do because you just don't like beating Missouri for some reason. And Texas A&M is going to be a good team. Like, they're going to have talent. So, I mean, to me, best case scenario is 2 wins, 2 out of those 4. Because it's about, like, you got to look at it, if you want to be like a little bit more simplistic in it, try to look at it this way. You look at last year and this year, because it's the same schedule, just reversed as far as where you're playing them at. I guess you're not playing A&M in Arlington, but reverse the schedules, essentially. Look at your team and look at the other team in the SEC and ask yourself this. For instance, A&M. Is A&M going to be better or worse than what they were this past year? Well, talent-wise and development and everything, you would feel they'd be a little bit better than what they were this past season, right? Still lost to them. Arkansas, you're not, on paper, you're not going to be as good as what you were last year. So therefore, it kind of feels like it's going to be a loss. Throw Mississippi State in. Mississippi State, I think, will be better than what they were last year. I do. But even they're better, they were so bad that I don't know if it's going to be up to the level of Arkansas, even though Arkansas may be a worse team. So that's kind of how you have to look at it. But Auburn's going to be better than what they were a year ago. Mississippi State's going to be better than what they were. A&M's going to be better. Missouri could be worse. Potentially could be worse. Maybe should be worse. But is their worse going to be better than your worse? Probably so. I think LSU is going to be just as good, if not better. I think Tennessee is going to be just as good, if not better. I think Texas is going to be just as good, if not better. So the point is that this over 5.5 deal, almost always when I have talked about the Razorbacks and done like covering them and discussing them and looking at them and all of that stuff, I just always felt like it was an over each time. You just hit the over 5.5 each and every time. I'm not feeling it this year, folks. I'm really not. And I hate that. I hate it. So the point is that if any of you see that number and you're willing to bet on it, don't. Just don't. Bet somewhere else. Bet on somebody else. Because that is not the type of situation you want to find yourself in, and that's not the type of game that you want to play. So go about your own merry way. I'm ready for football season, but I don't know. I'm taking a risk here on this next segment. Probably going to upset a lot of you, and that's fine. I'm used to it. But we got to remember when something happened roughly 13 years ago today. Stay with us on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. All right, so a final segment here on the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Now, again, I know a lot of you are going to be upset for me bringing this up, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. I got to. A lot of you may have time hop or maybe have Facebook memories where on this particular day you posted something, and a lot of times it's very cringy, especially for us olds who had Facebook back when Facebook was first a thing. You know, back when you had to be invited by somebody who was at a school and you had to have a school email and things like that. It's really cringy when you see all the rap lyrics that you used to put out there on your Facebook post and think that you were being creative and emotional. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I am here to talk about, though, that I hit my Facebook memories. It popped up and I was looking back on them, and it showed the whole Bobby Petrino motorcycle wreck firing saga thing. And, you know, it's something that we all look back on and maybe point to as far as the time where things went into the ditch for Razorback football and haven't recovered since. You know, no pun intended. But it was a crazy time during that stretch. And, you know, it's one of those things you remember. I remember when I heard the news about Bobby Petrino being in a motorcycle accident, I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I hate him. I'm glad he's okay. And then he did the press conference in the neck brace, the infamous press conference. And I remember feeling so bad for him. Like, man, so tough. So what a guy to go out there and face the music and show everybody that he's okay. The warrior. And then things started kind of unraveling from there. And I remember reading police reports, and then my Facebook memories were even saying like, hey, I think, I just read the report, and, I read from somebody else, and I was, hey, this may bode all right for Petrino. Maybe okay. It wasn't. And I tried to justify it because I really did not want Petrino to get fired. And I still, to this day, don't think he should have been fired, to be honest. But, I was... I was just excited about success, and I was obsessed with it because it felt so good to go 21-5 in 2 seasons and everything. But man, that was a crazy time. And we talk about stories that's happened in Arkansas sports history, and a lot of them are nuts, weird, shocking, surprising, everything. That might be the most ludicrous and ridiculous one of all time. Because, it wasn't just like something that happened on the court or on the field or, a coach leaving somewhere else to go somewhere else. It was just something absurd that should never have happened, should never have come to that, but it did. And then the only people that really got screwed in the whole thing was Razorback fans. So it was just weird to relive that and to go through all of that once again and to just feel the same sadness of it all. But man, those times were fun. And it's crazy to think that Bobby Petrino is still the offense coordinator. He's back at Arkansas. Like, we just played the clip and heard from him yesterday. And I'm happy for that. Like, I of all the things that I talk about football, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm always going to be happy about Bobby and being a coach at Arkansas. Because the dude was the best coach in my lifetime of Razorback football. And he proved one thing that is so important that many people can't understand or grasp or, even care to believe, and that's you can win at Arkansas, and you can win at a high level at Arkansas. Is it going to be a national championship caliber every year? No. Is it as easy to win at Arkansas in football as it is maybe the other sports at Arkansas? No. But during the heyday of the SEC, when it was always at its peak, Bobby proved that if you just got the right guy in place, you can do it. You can pull it off. So I'll always be thankful for Bobby for that. But man, 13 years ago, man, you know what sucks too is like my nephew, one of my nephews is 13 years old. He just turned 13. And I just think back, it's like he's never seen Razorback football be good. Not to that level, at least. Trust me, kids. It was like that one way back when. It was a thing. Arkansas football being really good. Hope he gets back to that one day. Open. Appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching into the Locked On Razorbacks podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or on Google Play. You can also get after me on Twitter at John Neighbors Show for any questions, comments, concerns that you may have. We'll keep it going from there. Same podcast time, same podcast channel tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, everybody. See you then.